Once we've created a document, we may decide we want to save it in a different format. So let's look at some of our options. I'm going to come over here to File and go to Save As. So let's first look at where it's saving the document.
Well, how does it know where to save the document?
In this case, we open this document from this file location, so it knows that it remembers where it's stored. It assumes we're going to save it there. However, we could change where it's saved to, but let's first look at where else it might typically save the document. So let's go down here to Options in our Backstage view, and I'm going to click on the Save item in the left menu, and notice I have Save Documents, and one of the things it tells it is where the file should be saved, default file location. So if it doesn't know where that file came from or it's a new file, it's going to default to whatever is in here. And right now that's just your Documents folder. If you wanted all your files to go to a specific place, you could set it up here by just clicking Browse and going out into your Documents window and choosing where you want it to be saved. So I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to change it. But let's see what else we have here. Notice that we have an Auto Recover Information option. So what happens is in the background, Word is every 10 minutes running a save. That's a good thing because you could forget to save, or something could happen and Word stops responding, your computer freezes up. It's going to auto recover the most recent of those for you. So maybe you won't have lost as much of your document otherwise. It says to keep that auto recover version if you close without saving, so you have that checkbox. Also, we have the file format that it automatically saves to. So if you have not told it anything else, it will save it as a docx, which is a Word document.
Well, why would I want to save it in a different type?
You have several reasons where you might, and there are several file types available to you. Rather than go through them here, let me click out and go back to my File Save As. Now here I am in File Save As. It's defaulting to the docx, which we saw in the background. And in the drop-down, we can see various file types, and there's quite a variety. One of the options we have is the old Word version, the doc file. And if you had someone who was using that, you might need to save a file that way so they could read it. Typically, you're not going to run into it too often. Word templates are going to be discussed in the intermediate course of Word, so we'll look at that in other lessons. We also have PDFs, so if you wanted to save it as a PDF, you have that option. And if you're creating it for the internet, you might save it as a web page. Also, some cases where you're saving files, they may ask you to save it as rich text or plain text. And it just depends on what it is that person's using your data for as to why they want it saved that way. Plain text tends to save it without any formatting, and rich text has very little formatting in it. Typically, you're going to stay with the docx. So we choose where we're saving it, we make sure we have the file name that we want, and we click Save.
I had no idea there were so many different file types. I think I'll definitely use PDF a lot.